Welcome to Jurassic World.
Welcome to Jurassic World Minute, where we'll discuss Jurassic World 1 minute at a time. Jurassic World's Nanny service coming in 2016. I'm Brad.
I'm Dave.
And here we are back to discuss minutes 28 of Jurassic World. Before we get to that, David, heading over to Jurassic-Pedia.com, we have an article up here for Karen Mitchell. We weren't doing this when we started the minutes for Jurassic World, and here we have a write-up for Karen Mitchell in the film, of course, mother of Zach and Gray, and wife of Scott. So yeah, a bit of a write up here on her involvement in Jurassic World.
Yeah, she's not really a principal character in the film, but we still managed to get a pretty decent article out of her for Jurassicpedia. This one was written by our contributor Sickle Claw, so he did a great job on this article. Really goes into her involvement in the movie a lot. She's played by Judy Greer, who we have her IMDb page up here for as well.
Yeah, again, it's that common thing with a lot of the actors in this film of not really knowing much about their work outside of this film. Seemingly, I know it's been described, she does a lot of that this sort of background little roles in a lot of things.
Yeah, Judy Greer is she does do a lot of background stuff, but I know she was in the Ant-Man movies, so I didn't know her from that before seeing her in Jurassic World. And after being kind of a little bit more upfront and center, she wasn't kind of main protagonist, but she was kind of secondary protagonist. In the Ant-Mans, I was kind of surprised of the smaller roles she took in Jurassic World. Of course, I've seen her in a couple other movies. She was Laurie Strode's daughter in the new Halloween reboots. Who, coincidentally, her name is also Karen. And so she played again kind of secondary protagonist in that movie, and then she's going to be in the next couple Halloween movies coming up, Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. We've already Halloween Kills, I think, is coming out next year, and we've already seen a teaser trailer for that one.
Yeah. Maggie Lang in Ant-Man, is that Stephen Lang's wife?
His ex-wife, I think.
Ex-wife, yeah. Yeah, I'm having a look here. There's a lot of stuff here I've never heard of before.
Yeah, she definitely does. There's stuff I've heard of, stuff I haven't, and then stuff I've heard of, but I can't even remember her role in it. Apparently she was in Tomorrowland, which I saw, but couldn't remember her role in it for the life of me.
I've got to rewatch that. Yeah, a lot of TV stuff here. So she's very, very busy actress. And sadly, I don't think she's going to have a spot in Dominion here, so we're probably not going to get to see her in the franchise again after this film.
Yeah, she has not been announced for the for Dominion, so I think the Mitchells might be out on this one.
Yeah, which is a shame. You'd think at least having Zach and Gray back being a major part.
Yeah. Even Lex and Tim got a small cameo in The Lost World.
Yeah, yep, yeah.
Spielberg's college present.
Well, there's still a candle lit to maybe that's one secret we don't know yet, that those characters will have something to do in Dominion. But
I was always surprised, then again, maybe not, that Lex and Tim never came back for Jurassic World kind of running things, because I know that fans had always assumed that at some point either Lex or Tim would have taken over InGen after Hammond died.
hmm well, it'd keep that family involvement going throughout the films. Yeah.
And Joe Mazzello, especially in particular, has had a not unsubstantial career movie career. He played. He was in most recently that I can remember. Bohemian Rhapsody. He was one of the band members of Queen, and then he was also in very prominently, I think practically lead almost in, what was it, Band of Brothers?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or was it Pacific? I know he was in one of those two.
Yeah, although they both run at the same time, I think, so it gets confusing there which one it was. But
they're like complementary series.
But that's the thing, though. Like, he's a busy. It's not like Lex and Tim never worked again after Jurassic Park. They've both been fairly busy. Tim more so than Lex, but then here we are saying that Dominion's already sounded bloated with how many people are coming back. So you gotta give everyone their part. And
True.
Yeah. But head over to Jurassic-Pedia.com for the rest of the Mitchells, and yeah.
I'm so jealous. You're gonna have so much fun. I love you. Love you too.
Dave, ready to get into minute 28?
I am.
As we're in minute 28 of Jurassic World, we're sharing the same frustration as Gray, trying to see the Tyrannosaur eat the goat through the crowd of people. As we open on minute 28, Zach's phone rings. It's Karen. She grills Zach for not calling them when they landed, but then realises she's just happy to hear his voice and asks if she's having fun. Zach replies, "Yeah, I guess. Aunt Claire gave us passes, so we don't have to wait in line." And now the cat's out of the bag. As at the 17-second mark, we cut to Claire driving in a car, and her phone starts to ring. The two talk back and forth, not really adding anything to the movie. And as you can hear, the excitement for this minute is high. So we'll get straight to the discussion, because as minute 28 ends, Karen starts to cry.
These next few minutes are going to be hard, Dave. these are probably the low light for this film for me. This discussion between Karen and Claire on the phone, and going into Claire going to see Owen to consult. But they're a couple of minutes away. First up, we ended last minute with Rexy going after that goat and having a bit of a snack, a bit of a daily feeding show routine. As we're in the last minute, she sort of lunges down. We don't get a shot of her, but we're inside the observation log, and we can just sort of make out her through the crowd that she lunges down and eats that goat, and we get a crunch, and a woman saying ew, and that guy who's out in front yelling T-Rex.
Yeah, we talked kind of extensively last minute about how we, or at least I was disappointed, I can't remember if you said you were or not, about how little T-Rex we got to see in this scene, and how I think it would have done the scene more justice had they shown Rexy actually eating the goat and not just the crowd, and not just her eyeball in between heads in the crowd, you know?
Oh no, it's definitely we. I don't know if we talked then or not about, I'm pretty sure we did, about the T-Rex being a major part in marketing and everything. It's in the bloody logo, yet
I know, yeah.
It's not being shown. And even, again, seeing parts of Fallen Kingdom, it's locked in a box, Connex box on the ship. It's it's in a cage under Lockwood Manor. It's not being a major part of the film. I'm pretty sure we discussed that last minute, but yeah, here again.
A little bit we did. You do bring up a good point about marketing. Is just, I mean, the T-Rex, for one, especially the female T-Rex, has pretty much always been the face of marketing for Jurassic Park. Even in though the Spinosaurus did take kind of a spotlight for Jurassic Park 3, it didn't even last because the next toy line that came out, the Spinosaurus had to share logo space with the T-Rex, with the JP Dinosaurs line. And so I think that that having the T-Rex on your logo, there should be some more expectation of showing that animal off like they did in Jurassic Park and The Lost World, you know?
You go back, or post 2011, all the Jurassic Park 3 imagery DVDs, Blu-rays and everything, they've replaced the Spinosaur logo with the Tyrannosaur logo again.
Yeah, they did.
So even Universal's sort of bringing the Tyrannosaur marketing and image across the logo for all 5, now 6 films.
Yeah.
But instead we got Blue up on a screen because Blue's the main character in these films.
And I do kind of have to admit, I can understand people who wanted to kind of move away from T-Rex centric movies after The Lost World because T-Rex was just so kind of central within that movie. But we've had kind of Raptor centric for the last 3 years, the last 3 movies, and I really want to see more T-Rex at this point. I mean, I have discussed this with people in the fandom that after having 3 movies straight where the Velociraptor is really front and center, I'd really, really like to see more T-Rex action, you know? It's not that the design itself has problems, and we've talked extensively about the problems we've had with it. It's that the T-Rex is just misunderused at this point, you know? I mean, it's almost a crime against T-Rex.
Yeah, that's it. Right now, Jay's sitting on a street corner with that. Should give more T-Rex sign or something, busking, wanting more T-Rex in these films, and I agree with him. It's just you can't sit there and put her on the back burner just because you want to use her for the final conflict in this film. If you're building Blue and the Raptor Squad up, then they should be the ones to take down the Indominus, not the Tyrannosaur. Have her involved maybe, but we'll get to that. We've got a few minutes of them fighting. It
was a group effort.
Yeah. Well, one of the Raptors anyway. The other, yeah, we'll get there. But as everyone's yelling and cheering at the Tyrannosaur feeding, Zach gets a phone call, and we can sort of hear the ringtone over the sound of the crowd. He's got his phone in his hand. It hasn't left his hand in his whole time, but I'm amazed that he puts it up to his ear and instantly says, "Hey, Mum," which I'm guessing maybe he's got a personalised ringtone for his mother, so he knows when she's calling and not someone else.
Could be. My dad does that. He's got. I mean, annoyingly, it's a barking dog ringtone. But for a couple others, like for the neighbor that he co-manages our bees with, he's got a bees buzzing ringtone.
Yep. And
so between his phone and the neighbor, I don't know whose dog's barking more.
Yeah, I've got a friend at work that I think when he gets a message, the igniting a lightsaber sound comes across, but it's an older iPhone, I think, so the speaker's blown out, so now it's just a garbled.
I had that text tone too, and then it was just so annoying so often that I got rid of it, which is the same reason I got rid of the T-Rex roar for the same purpose. It was the Jurassic Park T-Rex roar being my text tone.
Mm-hmm.
And it'd be like, especially when you're planning a party or something, it's like every 10 minutes it's I'm like, oh god.
Well, that takes me all the way back to 1997 again. With there was a media pack that came out. I don't know where you could. You had the T-Rex roar when your PC, and this is a Pentium 2 PC, booted up. It roared when you just after the Windows screen instead of that Windows theme, and then when you shut down, you had the Velociraptors scream. But same thing, 1997 Pentium speakers weren't the best clarity, and it roaring at a louder volume than what you had it set at all the time. This was blown out, but I remember having personalised ringtones on my first Apple phone, and then I got a new one. I'm not going through doing all that again. Haven't really done it since. It's just the standard stuff, but yeah, here we got the return of Karen Mitchell, and she's saying that they were supposed to call them when they landed, and then she asks if they're having fun. So here we are, hours after arriving in Costa Rica, and they haven't called her at all.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, I mean, when you're at that age, and your mom tells you, "Don't forget to call when you land," it's very easy to conveniently ignore, or should I say, conveniently forget. Oh, I forgot to call. Sorry. But I'm 27, and my mom still makes me do it.
Yeah, yep. I wonder if it would have made it better if we'd seen her attempt to try and call him a couple of times. A couple of times his phone's gone off. He's looked down and seen a mum on it, or a photo of his mother, and now he's actually...
Or hear the buzzing noise in the background, and we can see the light through his pocket.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah.
So or when he goes to answer, we see his phone screen and it says 17 missed calls, Mom.
Yeah. But then the other thing is too, like I don't know if international roaming services and that now, whether if this is his phone from home, if they'd be able to afford to set up. I think it's fairly cheap now, international calls and that sort of stuff when you're abroad, and what the network is like on Nublar, we get to see later. It's not the best coverage, but whether there's some sort of international roaming on Nublar that people can use their own providers, or if Verizon's in charge of it all.
Well, I know that when I had to contact AT&T and add the package to, because I don't normally have it on my phone. Or when I went to Ireland when I was in college, I never leave the country almost, and so I just had to call AT&T and have them add the package to my phone before I left.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's probably what they did. They just had the package on their phones for the week or so that they were going to be there, and then they just call AT&T or whoever their carrier is and say, we want to cancel that package.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's only Zach. I don't think Gray's got a phone. We don't see him with one the whole film. And you'd think
I think you're right.
Yeah, you'd think if Karen rang Gray, he would answer.
Yeah.
But Zach replies, "Yep, having a great time. Aunt Claire gave us passes, so we don't have to wait in line." And obviously, this is something Karen did not want to hear. Zach just let the cat out of the bag that Claire is not with the family for this trip to the park, and she sort of pretty much confirms that with she's not with you. And that's when we cut to Claire driving, and you sort of oh no, get that sort of look on her face when she looks down and sees that Karen's calling. It's got a name there as well as a photo of the Mitchell family all dressed up in skier costumes. So obviously there must have been a trip to the snow somewhere. Whether Claire was there or Claire's the one taking the photo, I don't know, but she's got this photo of them all dressed up in the ski gear on the phone. And of course sponsored by Samsung. Samsung phone, not in the cradle, just sitting in the center console of this Mercedes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's just me, but I do not feel safe without my phone being in like one of those super protector cases. I got the OtterBox, I swear by him.
Yeah, yep.
And Unfortunately, with Samsung's latest release of their phone, the OtterBoxes don't come with a protector screen,
Oh.
and I'm still not happy about that.
Oh no.
I'm like, you got to be kidding me! I'm bare screen here.
Yeah, I know a couple of people at work have gone and purchased new phones, whether iPhone or Android, whatever, but they have no. They don't even have a. I don't even think they got just a stick-on screen protector on them. And these phones are scratched and dented, and you're paying over $1,000 for these things, and it's just sliding around.
I know. Quick mention of Claire's ringtone, though. I mean, do you notice that the first those three jingle notes kind of are reminiscent of the Jurassic Park theme? Somebody mentioned that on the Jurassic Park Legacy website when this movie first came out, and I can't shake it out of my head. I mean, I can hear it. I can hear the dee-dee-dee, dee-dee-dee. It's those same three tones that they played during all the marketing and during Fallen Kingdom, but with like chime sound instead of big kind of horns.
Yeah, I've only got Apple. I don't know if that's a ringtone that's available on those Samsung phones, or if it is just something they've made.
I've always done custom ringtones. So
You think if they were sponsoring the phone or sponsoring the movie, they'd want the phone to sound with like the ringtone was available.
Yeah, like a stock ringtone.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I've always done custom ringtones. My current one being the Kirby Patent Tile Plus ringtone.
Yes, nice. But Claire takes a breath and pushes the answer button. Hey, Karen. And we get the back and forth dialogue. Hi, Claire, how's it going? Claire nervously rubbing the steering wheel. Yeah, everything's great. The boys are having fun. Everything's good. Good. And Karen's obviously not happy. Really, because I just hung up with Zach and he said not even with them. And that's Claire's busted. She sort of exhales and then comes up with an excuse. Yeah, look, today turned out to be a really bad day for me. They're in great hands. They're with my assistant. She's British, so like they invented Denny's, and laughs. And the whole time while she's saying this, you can sort of see Karen's face start to screw up, and she's starting to break down. But this whole time, Claire's using excuse of her having a bad day, yet Karen's having an even worse one, even though we don't know about the divorce yet. We've seen shots behind her, the big boardroom table and that.
Yeah. I mean, they're clearly writing up the divorce papers as they're speaking, but they probably just took a short break so Karen could call Zach, you know?
Yeah, yep. But how has this been a bad day for Claire? She's got new sponsorship for the Indominus Rex. Masrani's gone and seen the Indominus and was happy with it. Is it because Masrani wants her to go and see Owen? Is that why she's about to have a bad day?
I think it's more that she's just busy that day, and she doesn't really have time to entertain guests, and so their presence is more of a inconvenience for her, you know? It's not a bad day so much as their presence makes it inconvenient to her schedule, you know?
Yeah.
So it's it's bad scheduling is more what she means.
Well, also too, just she's that business-minded, not being able to stop, turn off. But in the car, Claire can sort of hear sniffling over the phone, and after a moment says, "Wait, are you crying?" And as we cut to Karen, yes, we can see that she's crying. She tries to compose herself, and says, "This was meant to be a family weekend, Claire. You haven't seen the boys in forever." And that goes on into some issues Zach's going to have with Gray, but next minute.
I can kind of see where Karen's coming from, though, because, I mean, if you have a sister and that sister hasn't seen their immediate nephews in